Hello guys, and welcome to my first edition of Best Picture Review. For those of you that didn't catch my Blu-ray and DVD update this past weekend, I'm going to start doing this new series where I will review a movie that was given the Best Picture Award by the Academy Awards, Oscars. So first off, I want to start with one of the very first films to ever win that honor. This film comes from 1930, and it is All Quiet on the Western Front. Now, I have to start this review off by saying right off the bat, I'm not a big war movie fan by any means. There's very few that I've actually liked or even watched for that matter. I'm just not big on them. I mean, no particular reason at all. I just don't really get into them. But here lately, with the Oscars just happening a couple weeks ago and stuff, I was reading up on some of the films that's won Best Picture, and this one really caught my attention because I heard that this was made right at the beginning of talking pictures where they actually had sound. And I also heard that it was, it really depicted war very real, like it pulled no punches at all, and so it really caught my attention. So I looked into different versions, and there was a DVD version of this, and then of course this 100th anniversary collector's series that Universal's doing now on Blu-ray. So of course I went with the Blu-ray. Basically, this tells the story of World War I from the German side, which really makes it unique also. And basically the film starts out showing this school of their seniors. They're getting ready to graduate, and the teacher's talking to them about what an honor it is to serve your country and how it's a great thing and it's very noble, and defend your fatherland and all this stuff. And he really makes it sound like it's I wouldn't say a fun thing, but makes it sound much more I don't know, I guess fun than what it actually is. And all these guys are just like, wow, let's go over there and we're going to join the army and we're going to go out there and kill people. We can't wait to get out there on the field and all this stuff. I mean, they're really anxious to do this. And they really don't know what they're getting themselves into at all. Well, then they run into, once they get to boot camp, I'm going to look in here and see if I can find the guy, his name. Once they get to boot camp, they realize very quickly that it is not what they expected it to be. The guy, the drill sergeant, is very hard on them. And he basically just tells them, forget everything you've ever known. This is how you're going to be. We're going to basically train you to be a ruthless killer, is basically what he's telling them. So they get trained, and it kind of knocks down their spirit some, but they're still gung-ho to get out there. Well, soon they learn that they're going on the front lines, and they're not sure exactly what that means. But once they get out there, they see very quickly as some of them get killed right away, and it's just very intense right off the bat. And basically the movie is just showing, the horrors of war. It's showing, the very mental and physical things that happen to you in war. Now, I don't pretend to know at all, but the depiction that they show in this film was just, wow. It really amazed me. I mean, I was just surprised at how well this movie was made and holds up for being 1930. Like, it's very, very bleak. This is a very bleak film. And one thing that was very different for this time period is there's no romance in this film whatsoever. And I did read up that the Universal was kind of skeptical on even doing that because they felt that they needed something in there for something a little cheery for the content, but they decided not to do it. Lewis Milestone, a director, held his ground, and they made it how it was. And yeah, guys, it's just a very bleak film. I mean, the things that these characters go through in this it's difficult to watch. As far as the romance stuff goes, there is one scene where the soldiers meet up with these French girls, and it's a unique scene because they're communicating with these girls, and they don't speak French at all, and the girls are totally speaking French to them, but they still find ways to communicate and stuff. it's kind of interesting. But one thing, you know, that a major flaw you could say in this film is it's supposed to be Germans in the German side of the war, but they all speak English. You know, well, it is what it is. In that time period, you know, that was accepted. It's not like they're going to have subtitles and all that stuff. This is the beginning of the film in itself, you know, pretty much. But yeah, guys, I really like this film a lot. This is a war movie for people to check out who don't like war movies, I think. And especially, you know, you got to like the black and white films and all that stuff too, which, you know, I really enjoy them. And, you know, this film just had some epic battle scenes in it, man. I was just, the very first one right off the bat, just, it amazed me at how the scale for this time period, you know, it's got some wide open shots, you know, of just war in the trenches and explosions and dirt flying everywhere. There's buildings falling down. I mean, has some really high-tech special effects for 1930. I mean, no question at all. You know, and I like how the story went, because it started off all showing this, you know, platoon and showing what they go through and everything, and then the focus kind of shifted a little bit. I would say about midway point, it shifted to focus on what was his name, Paul Bomber, played by Lou Ayres. The focus of the film shifted more to where it was about him and what he was personally going through. I thought that was really cool, you know, how it's focusing on the whole platoon and then it just shifts right into his story. I really liked that a lot. He was a great actor. Some very good scenes with him, and you know, also just scenes with him being torn with his emotion. You know, one of the most gripping scenes in the film is where he shoots, I believe it was an American soldier. Yeah, he shoots an American soldier and the guy falls down. He goes up and starts stabbing him, and then, you know, he's trying to kill him. Well, then he starts feeling bad for it, and he starts asking the guy for forgiveness and all this stuff. And you know, I won't tell all what happens. That's only part of it. But man, it's just, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe how gripping emotionally that scene was. You know, and then Louis Walheim, right here, I don't know if you can even see him, a big brute of a guy that actually, you know, sadly passed away just a year after this film came out. He's like the sergeant that's already in the war when all of these young guys show up. Very good role. Just a big, strong guy, you know, physically and mentally, and he lets these young guys know what they're about to fall into, you know, and how to prepare for it, and how to deal with the things they're going to see. But guys, the end of this film, the last two scenes in this film, probably I would say it culminates to be like the last 30 seconds of this film is just, if you don't feel something from that, then you have no soul whatsoever. I mean, it is just, I was amazed. I was totally amazed at the final two scenes of this film, how it ended. You know, because the bleakness of the film, I didn't know how it was going to end, but I had a feeling it wasn't going to be a good ending for the characters. But it's just amazing. I can't say that enough. It's an amazing film with an amazing ending that just, I mean, it'll leave you speechless. It really will. Now, you know, this has been touted as a big anti-war film, and you can see that throughout it, you know, them talking about, you know, how war's no good and all that stuff, and should always try to avoid war and stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of messages like that throughout it. But, you know, this film definitely pulls no punches whatsoever, guys. And I highly recommend it if you don't mind older films. Definitely check this out. It is amazing. I give this film, without question, a 10 out of 10. This is probably my favorite war film that I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, I really liked it that much. So yeah, guys, 10 out of 10. Picture quality on this for a film that's 1930, it is amazing. Like, they really restored this very, very well. Really impressed with this. I mean, there's, you know, of course there's scratches and stuff, and sometimes the sound kind of fades out and comes back in. The sound's more iffy than the picture. And, I guess that probably comes from this being really one of the first talking pictures, right around the beginning of that. But the picture quality, guys, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It is fantastic looking. I am totally amazed that a film that's, 82 years old looks this great. It's just amazing. Now, the bonus features on this, there isn't a lot. There's an introduction by Turner Classic Movies host and film historian Robert Osborne. I did not see that. It also includes a rarely seen silent version of this film presented by the Library of Congress, which I heard how they shot this film is they had 2 cameras side by side shooting everything. One, for the sound version, one for the silent version. I'd definitely like to put in the silent version and check it out and see what it's like. And then you have 2 shorts, 100 Years of Universal Restoring the Classics, which that shows how they go in and they restore these really old films, how if they have a big crack and crease in it, how they can go in painstakingly, frame by frame, restore these films, and how a lot of times they'll go in and they will digitally alter them, like films, certain films, and this one included, they said, how it's got a strobe effect where it's so old, the colors have faded, and it's got a strobe effect, how they can go in and they can digitally alter that to restore it, not to change how the film looks, but to go in and restore it to exactly how the director meant for it to be seen, and it also preserves it so many generations to come can also enjoy the film. I thought it was really cool. It just sucks it was only like 8 minutes long. I wish they would have done this like feature length. I would have absolutely loved to have seen something like that. And then you also had 100 Years of Universal Academy Award winners, which is basically just Universal patting themselves on the back saying, here's all of our pictures that have won Best Picture. Check them all out. So yeah, guys, bonus features kind of lacking. I give it a 6 out of 10 solely for that restoring because it's so amazing. Even though it's so short, it's just, if you're into film and stuff like that and preservation of it, it's amazing to see. So extras, guys, 6 out of 10. Okay, so overall package, this edition is very awesome. Really hardcover. You have your Blu-ray here. You have a whole book telling about the whole film and everything that it broke ground for, being the first of, and it has little biographies on the actors. Then back here, you have digital copy, and then you have DVD. So yeah, guys, this is a very awesome package. I highly recommend this. I give this overall a 10 out of 10. This is absolutely fantastic film, fantastic packaging, well worth the money. Check this film out, guys. I appreciate you watching. I'm Jason. Have a good one.